Thank you, Mrs. Kowalski, for letting me come over and speak with you today. I think it was pretty important, especially after I met Will. I heard your name a number of times. And when I spoke to Will earlier at his dad's, one of the things that came out is how close he is to you, how he can tell you just about anything. And he asked that we kind of get together with you two and see what you had to say about his treatment plan and participate in his strengths assessments. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And by the way, you can just call me Jenny.
Okay. All right. I'm Mary. We were talking about gifts, and he was having a hard time remembering what some of his favorite gifts were. Can you remember anything he particularly liked?
Well, I know he likes the Wii.
Oh, your Wii. Over here? Where is your Wii?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's here.
I just don't play it that often anymore.
You keep it at your mom's?
Yeah.
Yeah. What games do they like to play with it? What do you have?
I have Iron Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers Wii, of course. I like that. I like Mario a lot. And
The Disney one.
Oh, what?
For the Wii. The Mickey Mouse with the crayon.
Epic Mickey.
Yes.
Epic Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
I would like one of those Iron Man suits of my own, actually. Wouldn't you? What if that was real and you could have an actual Iron Man suit?
Well, I wouldn't be here right now.
No, it's true. You'd be out saving the world. Just like, I forget the guy's name who was Iron Man.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. So you like movies, too?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen both the Iron Man movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, one at a time.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. We heard about Hunger Games. That's a big favorite. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Definitely Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yes,
That's been a consistent theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that. I actually like both Hunger Games and Harry Potter myself. And you said Pirates of
the Caribbean, Twilight.
She likes Twilight. Spicy.
So you watch Twilight too, just to keep your mom company. You're not really a Twilight kind of a guy.
Sparkly.
Well, who is it? Edward or Jacob?
Jacob.
Jacob. You're Jacob.
Team Jacob. Yes.
Team Edward.
I would kill the werewolves.
You're going to kill the werewolves?
Definitely.
Which vampire would you be?
I'm not a vamp. I'm a human.
You're human.
I'm
Okay.
killing vampires and werewolves.
Who's your favorite character in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Jack Sparrow.
Really? Why do you like Jack?
Because it's like he just does stuff in the weirdest way. Like he just makes up on the way.
He's really a funny character. I like the way they make him look too.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
You've seen them all?
Yes. Well, actually, I didn't see the last one.
I saw
But Jack Sparrow is my favorite.
Both of you have the same favorite?
Mm-hmm.
So you watch movies together?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last one you watched together? Or did you go to the Hunger Games with them? I know that's the last one
I
you
saw
saw.
Hunger Games.
Yes, he saw it. I didn't. I don't know. What was the last movie we saw together?
Nothing.
It's been 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, it's
We
hard to
watched.
remember. I know you're busy.
Yes. Maybe I think it was Twilight.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you do for fun when you're hanging out together?
Oh, well, we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. We also like to take walks together.
Around the neighborhood?
Yes.
One of the things I was asking Will is what he wanted to be when he grew up. Like, how did he see himself being? What kind of work? And he was having a really hard time remembering, weren't you? Can you help him out?
He had always stated a veterinarian, a lawyer. I think was the most recent one.
Why a lawyer?
Because my mom's a lawyer.
What?
Because my mom is a lawyer.
Your mom thinks you ought to be a lawyer.
Yeah. But she thinks I might be good at it.
Why do you think he'd be good at it?
He's caring of others.
He takes
He
care of other
cares a
people?
lot about others. A lot of times he will put himself in the line of fire to protect other people's feelings.
That came through when I was talking with Will earlier, too, is that he does like to stick up for people and admires people who stick up for others, and he doesn't like people who pick on other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said something about doing some cooking. As a matter of fact, he mentioned his spaghetti sauce recipe had hot dogs in it.
Yes. We tend to watch a lot of cooking shows.
Oh, TV chefs.
And he's been really working at practicing cooking different types of meals.
Are you teaching him?
Can't necessarily say teaching him. I guess we're kind of learning together. I try to teach him what I know, but you know.
Well, whose idea was it to put the hot dogs in the spaghetti sauce?
His.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite TV chef, Janice?
What is her name? Yes, Rachel Ray.
Oh, I like Rachel Ray too.
Yes, Rachel Ray. Yes, I don't know why her name slipped my mind, but yes, I love Rachel Ray. I also try to, look at her magazines when we're standing in the grocery store. I'll pick those up and always show him different recipes and things that she's, came up with recently.
To me, she seems like a nice person too.
She does, yes.
Do you remember any of the guy chefs? Guy Fieri comes to mind. You like him?
He's the funny one working with her on that show.
Yeah, I like him too. I like his hairdo.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about your son? Or some of your favorites?
Wow, he's witty.
I agree with that.
Yes, he's comical. His compassion. He's very empathetic.
He's quite a kid.
Yes, he is. He's very, very creative.
Janice, as we go into the second part of this assessment, I thought it would be useful, since I already talked to Walt, to go through some of the stuff Will and Walt came up with in the earlier part. So if that's okay with you, that's where I'm going to start. And if you want to add anything to any of these life domain areas, just speak up and we'll add it. Will picked the first two. First, Will picked the social life domain area.
The social,
right. And what he wants is more time with his friends. He feels like maybe you and Walt don't necessarily understand that his friends push him to do well in school. They don't distract him from his academics. And Will says that what his friends want are for them all to stay together so they can all be in grade after grade after grade together. I guess it's no mystery to you, but he would also like to have a little bit more fun, and that does include some things Walt finds a little expensive. The laser tag, the movies. Do you agree with all that?
Yeah.
That does sound a lot like him.
Yes, it does.
He had a hard time deciding between education and culture, and we'll talk about culture in a second. But he did pick education eventually, and the first thing Will really said was he wants to be part of kids not getting picked on at school.
Yeah, that sounds so much like Will. It does.
He thinks people should just put their heads together and ask the kids how to fix this.
That does sound a lot like him. Oh.
You've told me before he sticks up for the underdog. And
yes, he does that all the time.
You must be proud of him for that.
I'm definitely proud of him.
We're going to be working on something with that. And of course, I did ask Will again, and I promise I will stop now. Did any of this ever happen to him? But he says no, he just wants to be a force for good in the school. And then one other thing about, I forgot about this. Walt also says, yeah, he had a legitimate problem with the whole kids picking on each other thing. But Walt says one thing you and he agree on is whatever he does, he's supposed to keep those grades up.
Yes. We both know, well, I definitely know that he can make straight A's and B's.
Yep.
He just coasts.
I don't coast. I just get bad feelings.
Well, that leads to the second thing that Will brought up about school, and that's that sometimes he feels, he used the word like he's freaking out, like he's coming out of his skin, and he feels his heart pounding. And what he wants in school is some way to get out of the classroom and not have people looking at him and calm down without getting into trouble or having teachers think he's trying to get over and leave the classroom. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I definitely do.
I think that's a good goal too. Now, like I said, we said culture for later. We didn't really talk about it much, except to say what Will said is that he'd like to understand more about all the different cultures in his background. And he thought that might be something he could do with you.
Yes. I definitely think that would be a great project for us to work on together.
The next life domain, actually, Walt picked, Will's dad, and it was emotional and psychological. Yeah, and he did admit that you two don't always see eye to eye. And what Will said is he has trouble getting up some mornings. Some nights he can't sleep at all. Sometimes he feels like he's jumping out of his skin. Can you think of anything else in the psychological and emotional life domain area that you think would be important to his development?
I would definitely say that he should be able to spend more time with his sisters.
Okay, more time.
He seems a lot more calmer when he's with them.
Yes, I observed them together, and I agree with you.
Mhm.
You're the mom. I mean, you know when your boy's happy.
Yes, yes, I definitely know when he's happy.
Okay, we'll make that part of it too.
Thank you.
When we talked earlier, when I talked earlier with Will, something came up. It's a little tricky to say, so I'm just going to say it for Will, if that's okay with you. Will feels like he's kind of in the middle when you and Walt disagree on what's going on with him. And sometimes he feels like he's required to take sides. So he's like you guys to fight. If you need to fight or disagree, he'd like not to hear it or be around it. Is that something we can talk about in Will's plan?
Yes.
I'm sorry if that, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but
No, it's okay. It's okay.
you know you needed to hear that. Walt was surprised too. He really was. And he didn't feel too good about it either. But it's fixable. Thank you for listening. We'll just move on then. The next life domain Walt picked. Will picked the first two and Walt picked the second two. It's just how we decided to do it. Of course, we could ask you to pick two also, but you can add to any of these ones so far. He picked family and says that there's a sense that there isn't much peace in the house. They're fighting. They fight about the chores. They fight about the music. Will's really not sure how many chores he wants to do, and his opinion is he's not a baby and he should get to pick some. But Walt feels like he's the father, not the roommate, and that he needs to learn to work. So he also says that he doesn't think Will always remembers it, but he doesn't like the conflict either. Will doesn't like it, neither does Walt. I assume if you guys have conflict, you don't like it either. But he wants to get back to when they were closer before. That's kind of what he wanted with that. So that's one of the things we're going to work on is some set of rules they agree on, they negotiate out together and schedule, that kind of thing.
Yes.
In terms of that outcome, particularly when family, is there anything else you would want to say about that?
Well, I'm not against chores.
Good.
I definitely do feel that there needs to be a balance in the home. That's the reason why he lives with his dad, is so that he can teach him responsibility.
Well, that's an important part of it.
But I wouldn't mind him helping out around the house every once in a while here too.
What do you say, Will? More chores? Come on. It'll be all right. We'll figure it out in a fair way. There is one thing I forgot to say that Will brought up, and I don't mean to leave out your input, Will, but Will thinks he'd be better if maybe Uncle Wayne came around more, your former brother-in-law, do some things with him. And Walt says, being so much younger than Walt is, that he thinks Wayne has a special rapport with Will. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Yeah, I can try to make that happen.
Thanks. This time you get to pick from the remaining ones. And thanks for adding your input to the ones that were already chosen. Is there one of these areas that you'd like to discuss, or you'd like to see some changes in Will's life?
Definitely health.
Health. If things were better for Will's health, what would you see would be different from how things are happening now?
Well, they eat a lot of fast food over there. They don't cook much.
No.
It's not healthy. There's high blood pressure in my family. My father and my grandfather both developed it and passed away from it, and I just would like for him to learn how to eat healthier while he's still young, to create better eating habits.
I think that's a great idea. And from what you were saying before, it's not like the two of you haven't ever watched a cooking show.
Yeah, that is something we like to watch.
That chef he likes, that Guy Fieri, does he ever cook anything healthy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there's a possibility. And you're a big Rachel Ray fan, right?
Yes.
So what do you say? Healthy food?
Yeah, whatever.
Anything else in terms of Will's health, Janice?
I would like him to feel happier and to be calmer inside.
I think that's something that Will mentioned also when I talked with him and his dad, is he wanted to feel calmer inside. Happier and calmer inside. What seems to calm him down?
Movies. Definitely movies. He gets inspired when he watches them. He feels free being able to talk about the characters and things like that happen in the movies. He gets excited.
Do you guys get to go much?
No. With the girls in work, I'm not able to go to the movies often. My brother-in-law used to, he goes with them every once in a while.
So we'll look at maybe some more movies, something that he might really enjoy. Janice, why don't we pick one more? I mean, we can work on all of these if you want before we're through, but is there one that suggests to you a more immediate priority that you'd like to see things change for Will?
I would say behavior.
Behavior? Again, the question, if things are better with Will's behavior, what would be different?
I just really need him to think before he acts.
That's a good one.
And to think before he speaks.
Yeah.
He just tends to, say things without thinking about it first. Do things without, of course, asking permission first. For him to really think before he leaves.
Yes. Yes, and Will, don't be offended by this, because I know people who are elderly who haven't figured this out. I mean, it's not just a young person thing like you. But do you agree with your mom that maybe if you thought a little bit before you acted, you might get in less trouble?
Yeah, I do.
There has to be some way we can find to help him do that, Janice. And we'll work on that during the planning process.
That would be great, yes.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's what we have for today. Thank you so much for participating in this. I know it's awkward when a couple don't want to meet together. But you've done very well, and Walt was very respectful as well. And I think we did find out one thing that would make Will feel better, but I think everybody who's raising children separately faces that particular barrier. So we'll work on it together.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. And Will, I know you've been about assessed to the point of beyond you want to be assessed anymore, but you've been very, very helpful and honest and cooperative. He is a great kid.
He is. He really, really is.
And he's much loved by both of you. In different ways, but still very much loved.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today. I'll see you at the planning meeting.
Okay.
All right. So, we need a chance to talk alone, obviously. What did you want me to know?
Just that, my ex is a little bit of a control freak, and just, he can be a little hard on Will, and
I think it's because he's the only boy. Do you?
yeah, I would say that that's a lot of it.
And he's very into responsibility and rules, and I think that's going to be good for Will long term, but I think you two form a nice balance.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
We definitely try.
We'll be very careful to make sure that the plan that we come up with is balanced and reflects your dreams and your wants for your son, his own, and his father's as well.
That'll be good.
Believe me,
That'll
this
be
happens
good.
a lot. Good. Just tell me anytime you want to talk to me privately, and we will.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Janice, thanks for coming today. This won't take long. You both heard your son express the idea that he doesn't want to be part of any kind of conflict between you. And you both said that had never been your intent, and I know that to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we needed just a quick adults-only meeting so we could come up with some way to cue each other. Like if you forget and start to say something, one about the other, what if I just went, tapped on the table, and we could wind it back a little bit?
That could work.
Until it gets started. We won't make a big deal about it. I'll be real, I'll be subtle about it.
So you just gotta tap your hands on the
Just
table.
tap my hands on the table. That's all. Think of me as Henry Kissinger, some kind of diplomat, something like that. Okay. And then when you all want a private moment with me or an adult-only version of the planning team, when we get into that part of it, how will you let me know?
I don't know, you wanna tap on the table too?
No.
You want to just call
Yeah.
me? If we're at the
Yes.
meeting, you can tap at the table, but you can also call me.
Yeah, that'll.
You can
that'll
text.
work. That'll work.
You want to tap at the table, Walt? Is that your story?
I guess, sure.
Okay, but you could also call me. I know you're not very big on texting. I hear you're sort of slow, actually.
Me and technology, cell phones, don't agree very well.
You know your son taught him to text.
I can imagine. Yes.
That's where I heard he was really slow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a deal. And again, if anybody wants a private moment, just let it be known, even if we're in a meeting, if you signal, I'll call a break in the meeting and we'll go private when we need to. I know that was hard to hear. Thank you both very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.